Good evening and welcome to the November 19th meeting of the Board of Selectmen. Everybody rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening again and welcome for those that are either present with us or online. We have no public hearing scheduled for this evening. Any announcements from the board? Wayne, anything?
No, nothing.
David?
Yeah, a huge shout out to everybody that participated and helped out with voting a couple weeks ago. I mean, we're blessed to have such a great staff and volunteers that work tirelessly to make it go off almost flawless. So thank you.
Okay. Gary?
Just want to say that the Old Home Days Committee is still looking for volunteers. They meet once a month right now on Thursdays, and they would appreciate any help that someone else could supply.
John, anything?
Nothing.
Just a reminder that we do have a senior luncheon tomorrow at the Snowmobile Club. It starts at noon. And I'm sure you'll talk about that in an appointment, later. Any additions or deletions to the agenda? Nope. We have no appointments. Public comment. Fine.
It's all been said before.
Please say it again.
We do have correspondence. We do have the financial reports for the municipality. We also have Waterboro Water District minutes that are in here. So if anybody wants to peruse those, you can look at the packet on the website or give a jingle to the town office here. We can make sure that you get a copy.
I got just a comment on that. Reading the minutes from the water district, it looks like they got a well down there that don't have a wellhead protection around that. And I don't know why. I mean, why would we have a public water system with without a wellhead protection? And if they need some help, I'm sure we can help them get that done. I mean, that new well was put in either last fall or early this spring, but if that's the well that hasn't got the wellhead protection,
What is wellhead protection?
well, it's a zoning regulations around it, and nothing can be built within so many feet, and then when you get out 300 feet and 500 feet, it's got some restrictions, but that's a major public water system. We have many of them in town that are feeding more than 2 houses, or these daycares are now required to be considered public water, so. But it's not a big deal to create a wellhead protection around them, so.
So that, the new well is not within the Strong Mill?
Well, I don't know, because I
Wellhead
don't
protection.
understand the minutes
Okay.
of that. Other than, there was some comments there that that new well doesn't have a wellhead protection around it, so.
Well,
Which it may be outside of the other 300 feet or 500 feet.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know where the new well is,
Why
so.
don't we,
Reach out to John McCarry and
okay.
touch base with him.
Planning board and selectmen, it's a very simple
Yeah.
fix, but it should be done.
Okay, reports and staff initiatives, selectmen's report. How about John, anything?
No.
Gary?
No.
David?
No, not too long.
Wayne?
Charter commission was passed through the vote the other night, which means that, from what I can gather, the charter will continue the way it is until July 1st, and then it will take, the new charter will take effect. So whoever's coming up in July to run for selectmen will now run, or whoever runs will be running for
Town council.
council rather than selectmen, and
Yep.
then the other three of us will be appointed as a councilman, and Mr. Wars will become the town manager as of July 1st. And a few other small changes in the
Yeah.
charter, but nothing major will,
Matt doesn't become or loses the title of town clerk, tax collector, treasurer, and all of the above.
yeah,
So
did nothing.
in the staff in the lobby they'll be converted from deputy.
Couple limbs cut off the old apple tree, but the tree's still gonna stay.
Yeah. Okay.
The other thing is, we lost a resident here last week, Mr., I'll get to his name. And the other one that we lost was Doc Wallingford over in Lebanon, but he was the doctor that started in the medical center when that all got started, and he's the one that brought in many doctors from UNE, and he passed away October 7th. A big loss, I mean, too many people here in town that used him for a doctor.
Anything else, Dwayne?
I think that's it. I'll come up with that name that we lost here
Clapper.
last week.
Clapper.
Clapper, Mr. Clapper passed away at 93 or 4 here.
Okay, I'm all set. Matt?
A couple things that we've touched base on, but on election day, we had 4,751 voters. In person, 2,383. Absentee was 2,368. Before election day, we had 6,341 registered. The day of voting, we had plus or minus 650 new registrations. We're still processing those cards. So we were estimated right around 69, just under 7,000 registered voters. Obviously, Article 1, 2, and 3 all passed. The charter changes, working with the Historical Society to negotiate for voting space, and the Public Works Garage. Seeing voter turnout, obviously, this presidential, I'm not sure of the space that we're going to talk about at this other building will be big enough. We maximize all the space at the school. Chairman Abbott, you just mentioned about the luncheon tomorrow, the Snow Wheel Club at noon. I believe everybody's been signed up for it. About 30 people signed up currently. We did have a budget kickoff meeting with department heads on October 29th, where we discussed our challenges this year and trying to keep the department budgets at a zero increase wherever possible. Obviously, I think you've all met her tonight coming through, but we do have a new town clerk, our deputy clerk, Kimberly Howard, who's off in Logan Circle. We had several dozen applicants. Some good applicants and individuals we interviewed, but ultimately we only had one position to fill. Nancy's already started training with her, and she started Monday. We did send out the corrective deed that was previously approved by the board to Mr. Cody's Realtor. We had an initial kickoff meeting also for the Public Works Garage, and we'll be having a meeting with Sebago Tech Owens next Monday here to work with him to hopefully see what he can do to help us with the bid and the RFP documents. As Selectman Woods mentioned a minute ago, the Charter Commission, based on state statute, the approved change will be July 1, and the commission will automatically dissolve 30 days after the public vote on the proposed changes. So their services will be done then. You may or may not have heard some scuttlebutt, but we received some correspondence from the Snowmobile Club. I think I talked to a couple of you individually over the last month or so, just to fill you in, but the Snowmobile Club, obviously, based on the budget article that's submitted and passed by the voters, the last several years included an article for the Snowmobile Club to give them registration money fees. Generally, that comes from them submitting a plan for fire roads work that's signed off by the Public Works Director and the Fire Chief over the years. I do remember that several times it's come to us, but for a couple of years in FY '21, FY '22, and FY '24, plans were not submitted, but I think we always had some challenges with COVID and whatnot. They submitted a letter looking to see if they could get the funds from those years dispersed, because they've done some of the work, just didn't submit the paperwork to us, which didn't create a process for us internally to generate anything to give to them, those dollars. That amount is $6,706.06. My suggestion would be is that we plan to put that for the article in June to restore those funds in July. And I've kind of conveyed that message to the president of the Snowmobile Club, that would be my thought. Transfer station, obviously, probably everybody's aware that first world problems, and the world blew apart in Waterboro this past weekend because the truck broke on the way back from hauling in Portland. And we do have a new truck coming. We don't manufacture the trucks here, so we're waiting at the mercy for manufacturing. It's frustrating for us. They had a snafu, they couldn't move the containers, they had some trash build up. It was not the end of the world. Everybody left the trash. I don't think anybody went home with it. And there was no overtime spent. They had it all cleaned up by 5 o'clock, and everybody went home. Nobody got hurt. And I think the guys down there are trying to do the best they can with what they have. I think they're getting equally as frustrated, but more frustrating because the constant criticism from everybody.
What was wrong with the truck?
It has a date, loses power. We're having a transmission issue again, correct? Our next step is obviously to probably replace the transmission. We're optimistically hoping to get the new truck in. I believe the schedule has moved up a couple weeks now. We were hoping to see it mid-December, so we may see it before the end of this month. But
That's next week, so.
Yeah.
I think they were putting the
Tag axles on.
Yeah, tag axles on. So we're optimistically hoping. So
Has this truck been a problem for a long time?
we have had constant problems and various issues with this truck for quite a while, and it all comes back to some sort of transmission issue that with it. That's the Eaton transmission on that one, correct? And we've talked to Whited, and the recommendation at this point is to either put a rebuild or a new transmission in it. Not an Eaton, correct? I can't remember the name of the other one, but
Back car.
what was it again?
Back car.
Yeah. So that's our goal, and that's about a $20,000 repair
Either that or find another truck,
or another truck.
Yeah.
So
something pre-2000.
just a quick update on the ARPA. The sign should be installed hopefully right after Thanksgiving. We're making headway with that. The forestry truck's in process. It's actually, we're just waiting for the skid unit now. Well has been allocated for the funding for that, and working for the roof at the old salt shed building. Any questions from the board?
Again, Matt, where are the signs going? I forgot.
Town hall and library.
In the library, okay, thank you.
Oh, thank you for saying that. I did print out about the signs, I don't know if you can see it. There's a couple different,
I can see it.
okay. There's a couple different color versions there. I don't know if you guys have a preference on color. The one on the left is the banner color from the website, and the other one's obviously a blue color. And taking out town hall and putting town offices instead. You guys have any input or feedback for a color?
I like green.
Agreed.
Green.
The green one on it, that green?
Yeah.
So you're okay with that?
I am.
Okay.
I don't
For both?
want to see it.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's a tealish green.
Yeah.
Yeah? Jason says he doesn't care. Do it. All right. That's all I have, unless there's any other questions.
The only other question I have is, do we have any kind of update on the two, I guess we could call them illegal junkyards we have going on, one on Main Street, one on Scopus Trail?
I do not know about the one on Main Street, and the one on Secocas Trail is in limbo because the town actually, well, last I knew it was under, the town has.
Can we get an update for our next meeting?
Yeah, we can. But I know that they didn't pay the taxes in the North Waterboro.
I remember that,
So, and that
kind of
was-
fell back to us. So that was 2-3
Yeah,
months ago.
and the last I talked to legal, Ben McCall, it still was hung up in court, but,
If you can get an update. that'd be-
Yeah, I will.
We own the property.
Yeah,
Bottom line is that the town of Waterboro now owns that property.
mm-hmm,
And until he comes in and pays the back taxes and lien fees,
yeah.
okay, then we'll issue a quitclaim deed, but I would guess that what are our legal rights of starting to remove
We ain't got
vehicles?
no legal rights moving them cars because we don't have title to them.
well, and that's his problem because of some of the permitting and now obviously he can't continue the permitting because he doesn't own the property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he did come to the planning board to get
To start that process, right?
to start that process, and then he found out that he no longer owns the land. Town does, because we've got multiple years of foreclosures.
And just for clarification, we're talking about the one on Secocas,
Correct.
not the one on Main Street.
We'll get Mike in for the next meeting. to have an update.
Yeah, that'd be good, thanks.
Anything else? All right, moving on to new business, discuss vote on renewal special amusement application for the 2025 York County Blues Festival.
I'll make that motion that we sign off and approve that application.
Okay.
So I'll second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Thank you. All right. In your packet, there's a discuss a vote on an abatement of map 7, lot 52A.
I take it,
52A13.
we're taxing them for a camper that was actually registered, so you can't tax them for
Right.
personal property or
Right.
illegal residence if it's registered. So I'll make a motion to abate that
I'll second that.
tax bill.
Any discussion?
And what does it mean that we're gonna do now?
Well,
We're gonna return
if they have,
$200.
right.
We're gonna return the
$282.48.
Okay, thank you.
If they pay.
Yeah, if they.
If they paid it.
Right.
I mean, if they haven't paid it, then it just gets taken off. when it
Okay,
pays
gotcha.
it, so,
Yeah.
but
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Thank you. Opposed?
I voted.
I probably ought to ask that question. Discuss vote on the renewal of the bingo application for the Massabesic Lions Club.
So moved.
Second.
And we got everything
Everything's in order.
Yep,
from our group.
yes.
Looked like it was all there.
All right, been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Okay, that's approved. Old business, discuss vote on the contract, deputy contract.
Did we request somebody to come in and speak to us?
We met with.
We did.
We met with chief deputy and the sheriff last week? Last night? Last
Yeah.
week.
Last week.
Expressed our concerns with the current contract and the ability to schedule folks and whatnot, and that went for, I don't know, an hour and a half or whatever. So, I guess the real question is do we want to vote to allow Matt to sign off the contract, or? So I'm open for a motion.
I'm kind of in limbo here because I don't know really where we were, or where we are as far as meeting here, but,
Well,
I'm gonna
so-
let the rest of the board tell me that it's right or wrong as far as signing that.
So in summary from the meeting that when we had, a week or so ago, our concerns were the scheduling and making sure that we had the contract to be, I think, the Selectmen, Fector brought up about where we are with the schedule on a week-to-week basis. We brought that to their attention and said, where are we at? And basically, they're using the contract deputies to fill the schedule if they're part of the staff that they have on, and they could be covering other communities. They do not bill us for those times, obviously, because that's why we base the budget on what the maximum would be if they were covering us at 40 hours a week, and they're not. And that's why we've historically been coming in under budget. We talked about, I think the question came up of, Chairman Abbott mentioned about essentially the contracts are subsidized in the Sheriff's Patrol, which I think they denied initially, and then they quickly said, well, it makes sense. And yes, that was what it appears like. Then the question came up, well, why couldn't we treat the contracts like the school resource officers? And basically, because the school resource officers are not pulled from that central detail, or whatever you want to call it, the schools, unless there's something big that's happening, assuming in proximity. We brought this to their attention. I think it's a very similar conversation. I think we drilled into it a little bit deeper this time, but similar conversation we had last year as well. And we had continuous follow-ups with Chief Deputy Forbes and the sheriff over the year. And they provide the reports on a regular basis now, and we've seen them come in. I think what you're seeing is what you'll get out of this contract at this point. It's certainly up to you guys of what you want to do, but I think it's beyond our control to enforce anything additional to get them to be here and to do other details because of their union contract internally and how they structure or schedule those positions. I wish we could have more of a cooperative agreement with them.
Mhm.
And certainly they do a good job when they're here.
Well, I think if we can keep a monthly thing going with him, or whoever they assign to answer our questions and monitor it. I mean, the voters did vote it in. Well, for us to deny it at this point, where does that leave us if we deny the clause on the contract?
I think that we could approve this through June 30th.
Okay,
And I think we have to have some serious conversations during the budget process before we put it on next year's warrant,
okay.
right? Because I think that really what it's boiling down to is that, I mean, we budget X amount, they've continually come under it by up to 30%.
Mhm.
So, from my viewpoint, that's a subsidy of 30% of what we're budgeting
Right.
to help the rural patrol.
Yeah.
So, I think that certainly we're well into this year, almost 5 months. So I think that, but I just think that we should terminate the contract on June 30th. And we have to have some serious conversation whether or not to put it as a warrant article in June's town meeting or town referendum.
Which means that you've got about 3 months to get this completely taken care of, because finance committee's gonna start meeting in the end of December or 1st of January, and it's gonna be all done by the 1st of March or earlier. And once that's done, and this budget is finalized, by the 1st of April, that budget is, gotta go to the voters for June, so.
In my perfect opinion or professional opinion, is that we're not gonna change this,
No.
right? So I think my suggestion is we go back to rural patrol.
I'm just being one of many that don't have their own force.
That's right.
We did this as a town many years ago to try to have our own coverage. And it included, how long has it been for the second deputy? How many years has it been for the second deputy?
Well, it's
5,
gotta
6
be
years.
6 years.
6 years, so we're making the attempt to cover the town by spending some money. But what's happening is, and I don't think anybody on this board would have any problem if they use that contract deputy that's working to go answer the emergency, because he's the only available guy, and it's a true emergency, send him. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the deputies that are assigned to our town get extra towns tagged on to them because the other guys that are doing the rest of the rural patrol are either too busy or whatever. And my point was to them is, why can't they just stack the call? If it's not an emergency call, then let it lie there. And I really didn't get a good answer on that one when I posed that to them. And we iterated many times, I did that. If it's an emergency, send them. This isn't about that. This is about the routine. And I started noticing this when I first came on the board, a year and a half ago, whatever it was now, gosh. And I didn't understand why we weren't getting billed the full amount. And then at the last year's end of the budget, we had less money left over. And then this last quarter was 30%.
Yeah.
Less than what we should have had, 30%. That's quite a lot. And they had explanations for it, basically is,
We can get the same patrol out of the Royal Patrol as we're getting out of our own patrol.
yeah,
Owning 2 cars and
so,
paying 2 sheriffs
And we own both those cruisers.
yeah.
for buying the
Or
cruisers.
they haven't billed us for the second one,
So,
unless you got a bill.
Nope.
So
I would make the motion that we sign it with the expiration of June 30th?
It expires on the 30th anyway.
Okay. So I don't even have to make that motion to let it expire. It's going to expire June 30th. But, and I think we closely monitor it and do what we have to do through the budget process to see if there's something that we're getting our money's worth out of, and I don't think we are. I'm in the same opinion as Dennis. This has been happening for years. It was just brought to their attention again. Our attention's gonna fade away, and it's gonna resort back to what they were doing, unless they do make some significant changes and show us.
Well, I think, my recommendation would be that we have a strongly worded memo from Matt that says this probably will be the last contract. And we'll see if the sheriff wants to keep Waterboro in the mix or not. But he seemed to be all about, we need Waterboro.
Yeah, he
Two
told us
years-
he wanted to keep the Waterboro contract.
Two years ago, I voted to keep the patrol, but was not in favor of it. And the only reason I did it was because I felt I owed the residents of the town of Waterboro that vote, because they voted it to have it. But,
Exactly, yeah.
knowing at that point that we weren't getting what we was paying for.
And nothing has changed, in
No,
my opinion.
I was gonna say, it's not changed. They kept saying it was going to go back.
And what's our total cost a year?
256.
Yeah,
256?
well, maximum cost is
No,
150.
Yeah.
yes.
Last year
Which is
was,
running
it
you
was
about
like
200.
Close to 2.
2. So it was the third last year, in 2024.
Yeah. Well, it'd be nice to be able to afford our own group to cover just our town, but how many would that take? 8, 9, 10 guys?
5.5.
5.5?
Yeah.
And then there we go, $1 million, we're at $1 million right there, right?
Yeah,
At a minimum.
You're at
Yeah.
2 to 3 million with cruisers and equipment.
All the other stuff. Yeah, sure.
Dispatch.
Yeah. So do you need a motion to accept the contract as written?
I guess at this point, I think that's, certainly the voters approve the recommendation.
Well, that's my thought, is that voters did vote this in, and we'll have to scrutinize it over the next, whatever time we have,
6 months.
6 months.
7 months.
Yeah. But
So you made that motion?
I'll make the motion that we sign the contract that expires June 30th.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Abstained? Okay. Needless to say, and I think you need to,
I'll have that I just made a minute.
yep. Okay.
Yeah, I'll reach out to them, we'll have that conversation.
All right, anything else under old business? Discuss vote to accept the minutes of October 15th meeting. Seems like a long time ago.
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Anybody have anything that they want to bring up? You've got your week's action list, right?
Yep.
The only thing I asked for was the updates.
Yep. So, discussion of agenda items, anything, anybody want to add?
Just a comment, please don't burn outside
Mm.
till we get
Yeah.
some rain and get this drought over with. Every town around us has had some major fires, and luckily Waterboro has had very few, had a couple, but very few, and we're lucky, and
So good.
it's way too dry to burn at this point. And we'll
All right.
see everybody at the luncheon tomorrow at noontime.
Yep.
If nothing else, I'd take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Thank you and good night.